Hello there, this is Ian Nethercott from the famous Auto Hub show here in New Orleans, Louisiana. Got here with the snow. And I'm here at LotLinx, and I have Len Short here. He's going to talk a little bit about artificial intelligence and how that's changing the industry.
Yeah, we try not to use that word because everybody's talking about it, and there's a lot of mystery about exactly what is real AI.
Right.
But it's I went out last fall and met with 100 owners of large groups, medium to large size groups, and I was showing them some, where we were going and so on, and almost to a man they were saying, and woman, they were saying, you know what, this AI thing is going to be bigger than the internet. And then they would tell the story about the beginning of the internet where they were sitting around saying, hey, is this real? Are people really going to buy cars online? We weren't quite sure. And some guy got it and we had to catch up. But they all feel like, and I think it's because of what's going on around us, we're seeing this enter very quickly in all of our lives. And, the ability for a machine to do things just without emotion and with precision that humans aspire to but can't always keep up with is just profound. And what they were saying is, this market is going back to normal, and the normal car business is very competitive, very tight margins, and you got to make every dollar count. And so they really feel like AI is going to help them actually gain those efficiencies as we come out of the COVID bubble and into a tougher business to maintain their margins and their profits, by more efficiency. And we were lucky because about 9 years ago, we, as you know, we have most of our technology up in Canada.
Right.
My partner is Canadian. He was a big shot at Microsoft, but we started this in San Francisco, and he came to me and said, "Listen, everybody here thinks they're above average, and they're not. We get much better people up in Canada." So we moved up, him, and we built there, and we were in Toronto.
Yep.
And Jeffrey Hinton at University of Toronto is the father of machine learning.
Yeah.
We were looking for some data people. We had some of his associate professors come work on a contract basis with us, and they started to build machine learning models before we didn't even know what it was.
Right.
And so we just got this, by serendipity, a head start on all of this. So we were doing this 9 years ago, and now everybody's talking about it, but it's put us in a very nice position.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Blackberry movie, but there's a pretty funny scene where they're trying to find talent, and he goes, "Thought you had the best engineers." Go, "Well, we got the best engineers in Canada." It's kind of an interesting story, but
hey, listen, we were in San Francisco, and there were obviously a lot of talented people there. Loyalty was an issue, work ethic was an issue, and so we're very happy we made that move.
That was interesting seeing that movie again, where he went to Google. He says, "Well, we need you to work." He goes, "Well, I'm working for Google." It's like, how much is it going to take?
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. So when you're talking about AI, artificial intelligence, predictive analytics, machine learning, and possibly automating some stuff for a car dealer or for just car dealers or even manufacturers, what does that look like for the car dealer who maybe doesn't understand or is afraid of it?
So, I can show you some things because we have all of this deep data, okay? This massive data set, nobody else has it. The big guys have to buy pieces of it from us, so that's where it starts. But then you have to build these machine learning models to predict how that data is going to move forward in the marketplace. And that's really, when you mash those two things up, along with the dealer's own proprietary data, that's where you get the magic. And so, that's what's happening. But so in terms of a simple example, the number one request I got from owners was, they love what we're doing in terms of moving their inventory.
Right.
But they're saying, listen, can your machine tell me how to stock? Because that's their number one problem. They'd say to me, listen, I have a great used car guy, but he's not always on it. Sometimes he's chasing the wrong thing. He's not paying attention to where the market's going. I mean, when he's on it, he's great. And so if you could tell me, where I need to fill in, where the market's moving, where I need to fill in, where I have holes in my, right down to the build level, color, and so on. And then you could actually integrate everything that's available out there. So from the auctions to the private party sales, and basically give me a P&L saying, hey, these are the available units, and if you can strike at this price, this is what it's going to cost you to sell that car. how long it will be on your lot, therefore your carrying costs of the car, and what your eventual realized price will be. And that's what machine learning does. It'll be able to predict that at amazing precision. So the owners are like, where do I sign up? Because if you can tell me, where I have a hole, what's out there, and where to strike, across all the things that are available with a P&L that says, hey, if you buy this car, not what you hope to get, but what you're actually going to see based on where this market is moving, that's the killer app. And so, you're hearing this all in the media. People are talking about all these great things that agentic AI is going to do for you. And that, I think, is probably going to be the most powerful thing. We've got a product we introduced today that helps dealers with their stocking levels, lets them see their sales, their holes, their sales efficiency, and by the way, how their competitors are doing with what we're telling them to stock. And they love that. The next version of this, probably late summer, will do exactly what I said. It'll integrate everything that's out there and give them basically a shopping list with a P&L. And it's a real P&L that says, this is, if you buy this at this strike price, this is how it's going to turn out for you on that unit. A lot of times, as you know, dealers buy and hope for the best, and it doesn't, the market doesn't cooperate. So what machine learning can do is actually show you where the market's going.
So they can make better decisions. They can stock the right cars, make sure they're not losing money, price it better, those kind of things?
Listen, I'm just sitting with a very smart owner, a big dealer in Texas, owns a bunch of stores, and he's like, job one is stocking. That's, your profit is in not what you sell, but how you buy. And he's exactly right. That's why the owners are asking for that more than anything else. So yes, it can make all of that so much easier because, it's, I always say it works at a genius level. And there are a lot of geniuses out, they're great car guys, okay? But they're not all, they get busy, they take a day off, there's stuff that's not always working at the precision that a machine can do it. And so they're just looking for that assistant. Hey, we want to remain in control, but can your machine do the groundwork for us, all of that data analysis, and put us in a position to make the right decisions? That's what they're looking for. And that's what we mean by agentic AI. Right. People are going to learn this. Everything they're going to see here, except for in this booth, here today is all generative AI. It's basically like ChatGPT, so it can write a memo for you, but can it do something for you, right? That's really where AI is going, that it can actually take, have agency and actually complete tasks for you that otherwise you can't quite keep up with. And I always say it does what you and I would do if we had all the data and all day long. Yeah, we just don't.
So if you weren't on too much coffee and you made better decisions, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. And if you weren't distracted by, hey, the pipes just froze and other stuff that's going on in your life, machine does, has no emotion.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take a minute off. It's there all the time. I'll show you a couple things, here. So what's going on in the background is this massive data set. And we would always describe it to dealers, so this was having, but they have a hard time envisioning it. So we've just released this. So for instance, here's a store, and it's looking at all of the traffic in the past 30 days to the subject store.
Yep.
Okay, so here's a subject store. Oh no, that's a competitor store. Where's the subject store? So it's looking at what they, hold on. Just move this across here. So they had 728 visitors, actual physical visits to their lot. Now, what we've done is taken out the UPS driver and all the employees and so on. We can't yet tell the difference between a service visit and a sales visit, but you can see that he's getting a fair amount of cross-shopping, meaning 4 of those visits came directly from another store. So another Kia store, they shopped that and they ended up going down to this store, but he sent out 6. So 6 visits went to him first and then continued on to somebody else. He's selling 1 car for every 3 visits to his store.
Right.
So the machine is looking at this, and for instance, he's a very powerful dealer. So he delivered 8% of the people who visited a Kia store came to his in that market. Okay, and this is exactly where they came from. So he's in outside of Dallas, and he's pulling in this radius. Here's all the visits that went to other stores. So you can see he's missing a lot of people in his area. So the machine's looking at that, and it's looking also at that cross shopping, because some places people will easily come on over. Other places, maybe the same distance, but it's just not a pattern that they have. So the machine knows all of that. And so make very good decisions about, listen, if you're under, there's a lot of buyers in here that you're not getting, and boy, they'll come if you actually can target them and show them the right inventory. So it's doing all of that in the background. And the key thing that we're doing is, a lot of people think about advertising in terms of audience.
Right.
Like if I'm on XYZ portal, they got a big audience, so I'm going to put my cars up there and see what trickles down to my store. We don't care about that.
Right.
We're looking at the inventory. And so if a car is getting shopped a lot, let it sell. Don't spend a penny on it. But most of the inventory is not getting shopped enough or at all.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing is making sure that every item in inventory, we're pulling from the real buyers, the people who are ready to strike on inventory, and making sure that each one of their units is getting enough shopping, enough demand to move on time. So we kind of work from the car out, whereas all other advertising works from the audience in. And the big problem is, when you get an audience, most of that audience is going to your hot inventory.
Yeah.
So you don't need to advertise that inventory. You don't need to spend money on advertising. It's going to sell itself, right? So you see, oh, I got all these visits. Well, let's see what cars they looked at. Oh, they looked at 5 of my hottest units, and 4 of them have already sold. So, but how about the other 150 that didn't get any? That's kind of what we worry about, is making sure every car, and you just let the machine do its thing, and it'll actually fill in that demand. It'll optimize your spend, making sure you're not spending money, pushing a rock up a hill where people aren't going to visit your store. They won't cross shop to your section. It knows all of that.
So what about like service business or parts business? Could it help there as well?
Yeah, so we've been running a product for a couple of years with our large dealer group customers. We're now making it available to everybody, crushing it on service. So a lot of dealers don't pay the attention that they should on the service marketing, and there are good vendors out there, but this brings all of this technology to that service thing, and it's just crushing it. It's really great. And what I've found is, dealers try to figure out, who can I trust? Who's actually working for me, and then who's making it easy for me to manage? Because the last thing you want is a bunch of different vendors to try to coordinate. And that's what we're trying to do, is pull it all together. Just we're integrated in everything, so you don't have to worry. Well, wait a second, how about my Facebook spend? Well, we're the only technology partner with Facebook worldwide. So we're fundamentally integrated, but it's only going to buy Facebook when it's your best next dollar spent.
Right.
Or maybe there's a better dollar spent someplace else. Right. So it's literally let the machine make those decisions rather than trying to pick. Because if you tell Facebook you're going to spend $5,000 with them, they will take it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it will go away.
Shocking.
Shocking how that works. And what you want to do is make them earn it.
Yeah.
Click by click, dollar by dollar. Maybe $5,000 is the right budget. Okay, in which case you'll spend that. But maybe half of that should have gone someplace else. And that's what the machine does. And you don't have time as a dealer to try to figure all that out.
Right.
Yeah.
So how quickly could someone get started if they wanted to say, I don't know, change the way they did business?
So very simply, this, we're offering now, so they can actually just enroll in this, get all of the data and all the recommendations, and then they can decide, so they start to see where their opportunity is, and really deep dive on data. And then they can start taking action on it, and just telling the machine to actually execute. So we can get this set up in about a week. We integrate their DMS, their CRM, their Google Analytics. So it's a full view of all their proprietary data. One of the things that dealers love about this is they're often dropping price on cars that they're working leads on. And
of course
they don't know, right? But the machine knows, and it lets them know that, hey, are you sure you want to drop price? Because you're working 2 leads on this car, and you're already priced right. Yeah. So why keep dropping price on it? Just giving it away. Yeah. So it's simple. It's what I was lucky to have a world-class assistant when I was coming up as a executive, and she made me look like a hero. She was smarter than I was. She was more disciplined than I was, and she just made everything happen. And that's how I think of this. If you just had a a great assistant who was on top of everything, making you look like a hero, making it easy for you to be the dealer. That's what we're building here. So.
Well, I appreciate all the information. Hopefully the dealers that listen aren't too overwhelmed, but I'm sure you can help them, right?
Yeah, that's the hardest thing, is to make it simple to use, because the last thing, I've had a dealer one time, an owner, saying, this is the most exciting thing I've ever seen. He said, get out of my store. Because it's too common. My guys will never figure it out. And then that's when I knew, okay, I need to make it usable. I got all the data, I got all the information. Now I just got to make it usable for them,
But you guys have trainers to do that, right? Make it easy for them.
And by the way, the UI, we've actually netted this thing up, so it's come a long way. And that's, what we have is, we have a great business because we've got dealers who actually, once they see what we can do, they get very involved. I just have to make it available to every dealer. Like, my son can do Photoshop like and I've got a license to Photoshop, but I can basically print a picture. Okay, and I'm never going to learn it. So my job is to make you, great with a very simple tool. Agentic, that's what we mean by agentic. Let the machine do the hard work. You just tell it what to do,
Fantastic. Well, thanks for all the explanation. I think I understood most of it, so maybe I'm better than most.
I talk fast. I'm sorry for that, but anyway, nice to see you. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good show.
All right.